It is loud and it is wet as we welcome you inside Lumen Field on your standard rain-filled afternoon in Seattle, Washington. Today we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down. Now, this defense for the Lions, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and try to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
The plan was clearly to challenge them by sending a blitz on second down, but even the extra guys couldn't catch him in the backfield, though. He didn't scramble for it first, but he does get the last laugh by evading the blitz and getting beyond the line of scrimmage.
On third down, here's Walker. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Back to Walker on 1st down. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. 40 yards rushing for him already. A terrific opening drive on the ground, and it's a 1st down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still.
Down the numbers. There he goes. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Ken Walker. His 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. They'll start on the ground with Swift. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. That throw taken in by Jamison Williams. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The end result, 21 yards. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They moved it a combined 33 yards. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy. And that's what they're doing early in this game.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing, maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, not get loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
Julian Okwara there to bring him down. The Seahawks at a very solid 4-1 here in the early part of the year. And they've come in on a nice run of recent form. 4 wins out of 5. And
I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
On 2nd down, it's Walker. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. And Walker once more. And they stop him up short of the first down as they get him at about the 43. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They throw it out right complete. And some room to maneuver. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their 2nd drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Brown. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Wow, this one, it is getting out of hand early. They add a pick-6 to the ledger now. 3-score lead still in the first half.
And all that celebrating that you see and hear from those defenders is not just because they scored a touchdown on a pick-6. It's because they're pitching a shutout in this one. Every defender's dream.
So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a first down. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
We'll get this to about the 38. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. So, Charles, you look at this offense. What a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at the Steelers in 2020, they're a great example. Remember, they started 11-0, then lost 5 of 6 and went out in the first round. But I think if you get toward mid-November, the Thanksgiving time frame, and you're still doing this, that's when things start to get real for a ball club. Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
On first down, Justin Herbert. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
So after the INT, it's Brady. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them, because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. Play action. It's Herbert. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Here's Herbert. Open man, and he's got Williams. Touchdown, Lions. A great play there. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Lions are able to cut into that deficit. Extra point splits the uprights, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Sticking with Walker on second down. They find some open. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Kenneth Walker with his second touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive. It seemed like they may be giving up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they end up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Back to the air. Herbert on second down. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on third down to get their momentum going again.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Justin Herbert looking to pass. He's airing it out for Williams. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. I mean, at this point, CD, what is not going their way in this first half? After that pick 6, they now have a 4-possession lead here.
And that allows them to say to themselves, how about we get everybody involved, okay? Because this one is a runaway, and it's looking like it's going to be even more of a runaway. Everybody gets a chance to play and get a little bit of love. The more guys that get to watching the highlight reels from this one, the better.
Point after, right down the middle. And the round is on here in this first half. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive. And he's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Herbert now. And this will be well too low for him to bring in. It's incomplete. I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
That one, a gain of 20 and a first down.
I tell you what, it looks like he's shaking off that pick six just fine. It's not just defensive backs that have to have short memories. Quarterbacks utilize that as well. A much more confident throw right there.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
And now here's another interception. Picked up by Leighton Vander Esch. And the Seahawks are going to take over at their own 13-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half. I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
And obviously not fooling anybody here as they stop him behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front as we send you cross-country to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. A CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. And that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one. You get the sense that they're saying, we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. To the air again, Herbert. He's going to get that to Swift underneath. Call it a gain of a yard, and that'll make it 2nd down. Herbert. And my goodness, another interception. And the Seahawks are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield.
Partner, I see you reaching for a white flag. Put it down. I don't want you throwing it, but I understand why. Because if you do, you're hoping they might actually stop this game because we're in blowout territory right now. That interception just surrendered any momentum they built up in the locker room during halftime. So game plan, it's in the garbage. Time to try something new in this one.
With 207 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here.
And having built that kind of a lead, they're able to do whatever they want right now. All momentum on their side, especially now running the football.
Yeah, you talk about a defense being on their toes. They don't know what's going to hit them next at this point.
No, they went from toes to heels, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to the toes part.
And going right back to Walker. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Now Brady bounces forward on the jet sweep, and he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. The defensive coordinators love that. You got a cornerback willing to stick his nose in there, come up on run support, and stop that pop pass dead in its tracks.
And, partner, one good thing about trying to defend that play, you should see it coming the whole way. You see the receiver coming in motion in your direction. Nice job eluding the blocker, making the play behind the line of scrimmage, but an even better job studying the play before you have to try and defend it in a game.
And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. And this one is right through, and that will extend their lead even further. Whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
On first down, it's Herbert. Being chased out left. And he'll just get rid of it.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with him.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. That'll put him close to 100 yards receiving. He's at 98, and he's got a first down. Herbert throwing again. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. 3 quarters have come and gone. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. They run out of the gun with Swift. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Now it's Herbert. And it's caught. Touchdown. Evan Ingram, an 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Lions get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is down to 24. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Well, the win for them at this point seems pretty assured. I mean, still a decent amount of time left here in the 4th quarter, Charles, but you got the football. You're up 3 scores. They have to be feeling really good about where they're at.
I love your observation skills, partner, because I think you saw them charge onto the field fired up about another chance to get into the end zone. Looks to me like this group is ready to crush any hope left on the opposing sideline, and they want to do it with some gusto, too.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Dobbins running out of the gun. That one a 1st down pickup of 8. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Right back to Dobbins on 1st. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
38-yard line, 2nd and 9. Ready? Dobbins going to take the handoff on the option. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. The offense on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
52. Ready?
And here comes throw number 1 for the backup QB. And the catch made, it's Tyler Boyd. And they stop him up short of the 1st down as they get him at about the 43. Now here's Michael Dixon. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. 39 yards on the punt, give him just 1 yard on the return. And the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And that 5-game win streak is ticking away here in the 4th quarter. Just haven't been as sharp in this one. On the ground, it's Swift to start the drive. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. A good gain on 1st has them set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Back to throw here, Herbert. Shart's got it, left side. 2 yards, good enough for a 1st. A shotgun snap for Herbert. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play. Herbert off of play action. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. If they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Herbert back to the air. Steps away to his left. And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver. Well, kind of got to give him credit. Another incompletion there, yes, but he's still trying to make plays outside the pocket.
Yeah, he's been hemmed in for much of the game. How about him getting outside there? And that's what you want to see from your quarterback. He's not giving up on this game, so every other player in the field has to say to himself, I can't give up either.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. What we just saw there, that's really been a common theme all afternoon.
A lot of pressure. That forced the errant pass. He's been under duress this entire afternoon. He just had to unload that one. He's fortunate it was just incomplete and not intercepted.
Fourth down for Herbert. Desperation time. A desperation heave for the end zone. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
So the Lion offense staying on the field as they're going to try for 2. And they'll have Herbert try and throw for it. And he'll find his way in for 2. And we're back to a 2-score game. The lead's cut to 16. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. So the victory here for Seattle.